Today's topic, we're going to talk about how to read a nutrition label because a lot of people don't know how to do that. So we're going to start with that. The first thing we need to know with nutrition labels is, first thing you need to notice is where it labels the serving size. So what that is not necessarily how much that you have to eat. That's how much the company thinks a normal person would measure out to eat. So that's how much they think you're going to eat, or what they think the average somebody's going to eat in one sitting is. On the plus side now, there are a lot of labels that show you the suggested serving size, which is the size that the regular serving size would be, and the calories of the entire container. So you have an idea of how much you were getting if you eat the whole thing. Because let's be honest, sometimes we eat the whole thing. Now, I also like that it'll label it in either pieces, grams, or ounces for the serving size. So if you've got a little food scale, which I have one, you can utilize that to see how much is in there or how much you're actually eating, so you can have an accurate record of how many calories, how much protein, how much carbs, how much fats you're consuming. Now, you also need to pay attention to the disclaimer on a lot of the labels that they are based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So that percentage can be accurate for you or it can be inaccurate for you. If you're a small human like myself, or you are cutting, you're not likely to be at 2,000 calories unless you've got a crazy high metabolism. And so you need to pay attention to that you might not need the whole serving size that's labeled there because that doesn't fit within your budget. Before we go into calories and the other stuff, let's take a look at the ingredients list. So the ingredients list is labeled from the most amount of an object or particular ingredient to the least amount by like weight or amount. So if you'll see, like, maybe oatmeal has oats is the first thing, and then you'll have like sugar and other stuff. It's based off of weight. So how much of that mass of the food is made of those ingredients, and it shrinks as they go. So you just gotta know about that too. Below serving size, in large letters, you'll see the calories. So that's how much energy is in a serving of the food. Or in some places, they call them kilocalories. So that's how much energy is in the food. That's how many calories are per serving or per container. Fats are labeled next. So we have the total followed by how much of that is saturated and or trans fats and cholesterol. So a lot of people have to watch those numbers for maybe heart health, or those are labeled because we need to be mindful of those items. And cholesterol comes in and out of how nice it is or how much people like it. But the other stuff, we just got to be mindful about the amount of those types of fats that we're eating. And then we also got sodium labeled after that, which can be something that affects blood pressure. So sodium is important for hydration, hydration balance in the body, but also, depending on your activity level, sodium can be a problem or a major need. So just keep an eye on that as well. And it's also labeled. We got carbs, baby. You know, the main fuel for activity, right? So it also contains dietary fiber, and we need at least 25 grams of that as women and 38 for men, and that changes as we age as well. And Americans tend to not get enough fiber, so this is something to really be paying attention to because we need fiber. Fiber doesn't contribute to your total calories usually, but it does contribute to your carbs depending on how you are tracking those numbers. Then we got total sugar and total added sugar. So total sugars could include the sugars naturally in the foods, like if you're eating fruit or some vegetables, sugars are in there already. And then you pay attention to the added sugar because that's artificially put into the food. So they add sugar to it and it's not naturally already there. And there's a certain amount, we're trying to keep that number lower overall. Protein is the last labeled of the macros. So a minimum of protein is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, but a lot of us need more than that. So a good rule of thumb is using 1 gram per pound of your goal weight, or whatever your current weight is as well. So we have a whole video about proteins. I can place that link on the screen too, but we need to pay attention to protein because I'm somebody who doesn't get their protein goal without trying. So I have to pay attention and make sure that I eat enough to hit my protein goal. So if you pay attention to the nutrition label, you can kind of keep track of how much protein you're actually ingesting. They have a couple of vitamins also labeled at the bottom. So like calcium, vitamin D, vitamins and minerals. Okay, not all of those vitamins. Iron, stuff like that is on the nutrition label as well. Stop it, Chewy. It's on the nutrition label as well. And keep in mind though, if a food is higher in calcium, it can inhibit iron absorption because they use a lot of the same receptors. So if like you're eating cereal with milk, yes, they fortify cereal with iron. They sprinkle iron all over that stuff. But if you're eating it with cow's milk, which has calcium, it can inhibit the amount of iron that you're actually absorbing. So just things to keep in mind when you are eating it. Yes, it could be high in calcium. Yes, it could be high in iron, but you're not going to absorb all of what you're eating if they're taken together. Food labels don't have to be complicated. They're simpler than you think. And if you want me to go further in depth on stuff like supplements, which are not necessarily, they're not regulated by the FDA, please comment and I'll start working on that. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do everything, every YouTuber says you should do. Bye.